Eve Ganúshla agus Fáilte, hello and welcome. It's Misha Amy the Crafty Kylock, and I make YouTube content about Irish history, folklore, food and magic. I am an Irish witch and practicing pagan who is passionate about promoting Ireland's history and cultural heritage. If you like this content and you want to see more, check out my other videos, my playlists, and maybe think about subscribing if you want to see more content like this. Hit the bell for notifications so you know when new content is coming out. As you've probably guessed from the video title, today I will be talking about Nollaig na mBan, Little Christmas, also known as Women's Christmas. I am posting this video on Ihe Nollaig na mBan, which is the eve of Little Christmas or Women's Christmas Eve. In Ireland, we have lots of different customs and folk beliefs that surround this day, so let's Nollaig. I did a little Dukas dive, and Dukas, or Dukas.ie, is our national folklore collection here in Ireland, and in particular the school manuscript collection was a collection of manuscripts that were taken down by school children and their teachers in the 1930s, and they're available online as a magnificent resource for Irish folklore, folk customs, beliefs, cures, magic, you name it. So on my little Dukas dive, I found this little adorable entry from Kitty Breen in County Clare, which said, on Little Christmas night it is said the cows speak to each other in their cabins. Perhaps they tell each other about the three wise kings. Now the three wise kings that Kitty is referring to there will be the three magi from Christian mythology, where after Jesus is born, three magi or wise men come to visit him and they bring gifts. While Little Christmas does fall at the same time as this in the Christian calendar, Little Christmas isn't about this specifically. So what is it about? So first of all, when is Little Christmas? And that seemed to be a little bit uncertain if you look at the Dukas archives. Now, when I was growing up, Little Christmas was always and has always been the 6th of January. But one account from County Mayo says that it was the first day of January. In County Longford, it's said to be the 12th day after Christmas, and it is 4 days after New Year's Day, making it the 5th of January. While in County Clare, it is definitively the 6th of January. And that's the date we observe it today. One thing is for certain though, and there was feasting on Little Christmas, albeit a smaller feast than there would have been on Christmas Day, which is where it gets the name Little Christmas. Where Women's Christmas comes into it is it was typically the day that women were relieved of housework following a very busy period, and in acknowledgement that women were the people that were doing most of the housework back then, they were relieved from their duties of housework, and instead they went visiting friends, meeting up with other women and eating the leftovers from Christmas feasts. Specifically Christmas cake, Christmas pudding, probably anything that had a bit more of a shelf life than meat and vegetables. There were some other beliefs as well surrounding giving out money. It was believed that if you gave out money on Little Christmas that you'd be giving it out for the whole year. That's something I've also heard about New Year's Day as well, and also May Day or Bealtaine, the first day of May, where if you gave away anything before 12 o'clock, you'd be giving it away for the rest of the harvest period. If you want to learn more about Bealtaine, you can check out the video I did on it last year, which is up here somewhere. Another belief that was held for Little Christmas was that water would turn into wine. Again, this has echoes of a Christian tradition and Christian mythology, where Jesus at a wedding turned water into wine, which is a pretty good party trick, to be fair. It was widely believed that water in wells that was left out overnight in buckets or bowls would turn into wine. It was also widely believed that if you were to try and witness this, very bad luck would befall you. So one account from Carricktool in County Cork states that a John Murphy, who lived in Rossmore, heard that the water changed to wine and tried to stay up. After about 30 minutes, he gave up and went to bed. And the next morning he woke up with a stiff leg that never got better. In fairness, John got off pretty light, because in Carrigascullaghy in County Cork, 2 girls tried to stay up to witness this miracle or magic Aren't they kind of both the same thing though? But the two girls went to a well for 12 o'clock and the next morning they were both found dead. Now, in fairness, it would have been fairly cold, start of January as it is at the moment. So if you stayed out overnight, you probably would have died of hypothermia. However, there's another account from County Kerry where two brothers stayed up. One was reading the paper and one was staring at the bowl of water that would have been placed upon a Bible in the house. The man reading the paper was absolutely fine, but his brother dropped dead at 12 o'clock. So the turning of water into wine is probably something you're better off not witnessing on Nollaig na mBan. Also, what was interesting is I couldn't find a specific person or being that was supposed to be responsible for this turning water into wine. If you do know, let me know in the comments, because I would be very, very interested if anyone found anything out about this. Typically in Ireland, these kind of things will be attributed to Jesus, a saint, or the good folk. I just haven't come across anything definitive on it. Other folk practices and beliefs were that it's unlucky to take down your Christmas decorations before Little Christmas. And that is something that is widely practiced still today. It's something I would have grown up with as a practice. You do not take down your Christmas decorations before Little Christmas. Sometimes you don't take them down till months after, but that's a completely different issue. Because lights and tinsel wouldn't have been the typical traditional Christmas decorations, a lot of natural stuff would have been used, like holly and ivy. These would have been taken down after Little Christmas. The holly either would have been burned in a fire or it would have been saved to burn in the fire over the hearth for Shrove Tuesday or Pancake Day, and the pancakes would be cooked over that fire with the holly burning. There was also a lot of practice with candles. So a couple of different variations, as there always is with any folklore, would be one account saying that there's 12 candles lit in every house. Sometimes these were made of rushes. If people didn't have candles, they would have a rush or reed dipped in grease and then lit. In County Roscommon, there is a record stating that a mixture of cow dung and ash would be mixed together into a soft cake. One candle or rush dipped in grease would be added to this cake, representing a member of the family. The rosary or prayers would be then said over it, and it would be hung in the rafters of the house to protect the family until the following year when it would be done again. A different account in Roscommon was that there was 12 candles lit, and each of these represented one of the 12 apostles of Jesus, that the 12 candles would be lit and a rosary would be said over them. And yet another account from County Roscommon, which is something I did see in other regions as well around Ireland, was quite a bit darker than simply saying some prayers over some candles. Instead, a divinatory practice where one candle represented each member of the family. These candles were all lit and you were instructed to watch your candle. And as you watched your candle, the order in which the candles burnt out or extinguished was the order in which the family would die. That's one surefire way to snuff out any festive spirit. It does also kind of echo back to the practices at Samhain, where there was a lot of divination surrounding death, emigration, etc. You know, all the fun stuff in Irish history. And if you want to learn more about Samhain, I also have a video on Samhain, which you can click the link up here to learn more about the divination to do with Samhain or Halloween. One belief that I found from County Louth said that the older people in the community believed that if you passed away between Christmas Eve and Little Christmas, that you would go straight to heaven. Harking back to the start of the video when I talked about Kitty Breen and the cows talking to each other, it was widely believed that all animals had the power of human speech on Little Christmas Eve. But again, if you tried to spy on them or see this happening, you would have very, very bad luck. The whole, if you spied them or looked directly at them or looked directly at the magic happening, is something that does really give me she or good folk vibes, because that is something that's commonly believed with them as well. You don't look directly at them or you'll be in trouble. There's potentially something she-ish going on here. but that is my own inference. I haven't come across anything specifically that said that the good folk were involved with this. With all this magic going on, it would be easy to get caught up and associate anything happening on Little Christmas with the supernatural. And such was the case for some people with the Night of the Big Wind. If you don't know what the Night of the Big Wind was, it was one night on the 6th of January in 1839 when Ireland experienced a hurricane. A very unusual hurricane. So we don't typically get very strong winds here. Well, not hurricane type winds. So Ihan na Gaoithe Móra, or the Night of the Big Wind in 1839, was very unusual, something not a lot of people would have experienced before. And because it was happening on the 6th of January, had an extra element to it, landing on the 6th of January with all the extra magic that was happening at that time. A lot of credence was given to this wind being caused by supernatural forces. And you can't really blame people for thinking that either, because Ireland has a lot of weather lore, like a lot of weather lore. If you'd actually like to see a video on weather lore and some of the folklore surrounding weather phenomenon in Ireland, let me know in the comments, because that is something I'm quite interested in myself. But that is it for Little Christmas. So I hope you liked this little video. So let me know in the comments what you're going to do for Little Christmas, if you're going to do anything. Personally, I think we should have it a little bit less gendered now that there's less of an expectation for women to be the sole people responsible for housework, and also not everyone identifies as a woman or as a man. So let's take the gender out of it, and if you do housework, you deserve a break on Little Christmas. In fact, everyone deserves a break from housework. So put your feet up, enjoy the day, eat the rest of your Christmas pudding and your Christmas cake. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. It helps boost the channel, which helps the channel grow. Also, if you're in a position to buy me a coffee on ko-fi.com, I will leave the link in the description below. That also helps boost the channel and gives me more caffeine to create and edit videos. For real though, this is my 4th time recording this video, and if I have to do it a 5th time, I might just not do it. So, slán go fóill, I will see you in the next video, and stand by for some kitty interruptions in previous attempts for doing this content. Okay, take 3. This is my 3rd attempt to record this video. I'm an Irish witch and do you mind, kitty cats? So, as you've probably guessed from the video title, this is what my cats are doing. Do you not want to learn about Ihan Nollaig and mBan, Nollaig? You just want to play with the ball? Now you're getting involved, Rory.